In this episode, I am diving into the 3-part system to fill your membership without constantly selling. Welcome to the $1 Million Memberships Podcast, where we help female entrepreneurs like yourself start, grow, and scale multiple 6- and 7-figure online memberships with simple, step-by-step strategies that actually work.
Your life is about to get so good.
Let's dive in. Before we get into today's episode, I have to share something with you that I just genuinely do not want you to miss. I have been excited all year for this. Registration is open for the Fill Your Membership 3-day challenge, which is a free live virtual challenge that I'm going to be running March 23rd, 24th, and 25th. This is going to be for you if you have a membership and your sales, your member growth just feels really inconsistent. Maybe some months are great, other months you're just sitting there wondering what happened and what are you supposed to be doing differently? You're already working so hard. What could you possibly do? This is for you if your community feels quieter than it should, if your members just aren't showing up the way that you had envisioned when you had started this whole thing. This is for you if you feel like you're just working so hard to grow your membership and you feel like you're working a lot, you're constantly busy, but it's just not working. Something is just not clicking and you don't want to keep treading water on your own, trying to figure out and guess what it could be. You want someone to just help you figure it out right now so that you can fix the problem and start growing. If you are nodding along right now, this is then exactly what you need. Because in the 3 days, we are going to figure out exactly what's blocking your growth. We're going to find your one personal growth button. And again, I say personal because this isn't going to be cookie cutter. You're going to figure out what you personally for your membership need to do to grow. And you're going to build a 30-day member growth roadmap that you can start running immediately after we wrap up. It's something that you can repeat all throughout the year and it's predictable. It's proven. You know it's going to work. You are going to have an actual membership growth plan that is all yours by the end of these 3 days. So how it works is you are going to just go to the link in the show notes, sign up through our registration link there. You're going to get live trainings every single day with recordings if you can't make one of the times. You're going to get real Q&A with me. We're going to be in a community together. We get to interact together. I get to know you, your membership. I'll be giving you actual growth assignments throughout the 3 days. And before you're like, hey, I don't have time to do assignments, these are things that you're actually really going to want to do because it's going to fix your membership. If you are stalling in growth, you want to do these. And I'm going to be not only giving those to you to do, but I'm also going to be reviewing it and looking it over and giving you feedback on it. And you have a community. You're going to be in a community with other ambitious membership founders who are all working towards the same goal. And I don't have to tell you, community is absolutely amazing. This is going to be such a fun challenge to be a part of. And also one more thing, one of you inside this challenge is going to win a private 60-minute strategy intensive with me dedicated entirely to your membership, your growth, your next steps, completely customized to you, just you and me. And one of you is going to walk away with that completely free. And just like this challenge, registration is also completely free. Spots are limited. We have 200 tickets available. So pause this right now. Go grab your ticket before they're gone. I know they're going to go fast because I only do these a couple of times a year and they are freaking excellent, if I do say so myself. And we start March 23rd. Again, a link is in the show notes. Go grab your spot and let's get into the episode. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the $1 Million Memberships Podcast. I am your host, Paige Vandy. If you are new here, I'm stoked that you are here on this podcast. We dive into all things online membership building, from sales to community building to retention to building out just a world inside your membership, all of the things. Whether you are brand new to building memberships or you already have a multiple 6- or 7-figure membership, this is the place for you. I'm so happy that you're here. Today's episode, we are talking about consistent membership sales. And more specifically, how to continuously sign new members inside of your membership without actually being the one to do it, without actually constantly being on stories, being on your feed, being in the DMs, trying to sell, burning yourself out. Because one of the biggest things that I hear from a lot of people running memberships, and you guys, this is my job. I do this all day. All day I talk memberships. I talk to people who have memberships. It's my entire world. And one thing that I hear all the time is that people say, my sales are so inconsistent. One month I'll have a really good month. The next month I have a really bad month. Sometimes it feels like I'm starting over. Sometimes I think I'm on top of the world, and then I have all these cancellations and my membership is just up and down. And what this ends up doing is what has so much potential of being like the most secure offer that you could possibly have, something that just compounds and compounds month after month and can take care of you, take care of your family, build generational wealth. Like, memberships are incredible. When it's up, when it's running, not only is it fulfilling because you're doing something, you're helping other people in whatever it is that you do for your membership. It's so fulfilling. It's the best thing in the world. But it is also one of those things that is just easy money once it gets up and running, because it just starts to compound as long as you are doing all of the things, as long as you have all of the important pieces in your membership in place. So what I hear, like what my ears actually transcribe into my head when I hear someone say that they're up and down, their sales are inconsistent, they can't seem to sell, all the things, is that there's just no system in place. There's not a strategic sales system in place. And that needs to be plugged in. You need to have a strategic sales button. It needs to be plugged into there. Let's maybe pull back a little bit first before we get into that and just talk about what your membership business might look like right now if you are someone who is inconsistent with sales, or if you are somebody who doesn't actually have a sales system, or maybe you're even somebody who thinks you have a sales system, but then we listen to this episode and you find out maybe you actually don't. Either way, let's get into it. So here are kind of some telltale signs that you do not have an actual sales system in place. Number one would be you only really sell when you feel like it, or you are relying on when you feel good to sell, like when you have a lot of energy, or when you have a free day, or when you the inspiration hits and then you pop on your stories and you start to sell. So when it feels very sporadic, or maybe you are somebody who's always feeling like you're waiting to feel ready to launch. So maybe it's like, oh, well, I have such a busy month right now, so I'm not going to launch. And oh my God, I just moved and I thought I was going to launch this month, but it's so crazy. I'm going to push it another month. If this is you, which is a very, very common one, I am talking to so many of you right now. So many of you are nodding. I can feel it through the microphone. This is another telltale sign that you don't actually have a strategic sales system in place. Or maybe you're somebody who you have strategically launched, and you launched once and it went really well, and then you kind of just go quiet. That went good. I'm just going to focus on my membership. And then months go by and more months, and it just kind of continues on like that. And you don't actually know when your next sales event is coming, or maybe you just were on like such a high from that launch and you just need a minute, and then that minute turns into 6 months. That would be another telltale sign that you don't have a strategic sales system. So whether you fall into one of these or multiple of these, kind of putting a blanket over this, if you don't have a repeatable system to sell your membership, something that it doesn't matter how you feel, it doesn't matter how busy you are, it doesn't matter how you're feeling after your launch. If you don't have something that is consistent, that is repeatable, then you're not going to have repeatable revenue. You're going to have inconsistent revenue. Inconsistency breeds inconsistency. And none of this is a motivation problem. Like, are you kidding me? There's so many days that I wake up and I'm just like, I could never sell today. Or there's so many days where I just want to go work out and have a personal day. But because I have systems in place, that's not necessarily an issue on those days. Sales are always happening behind the scenes because I have systems. So it's not a motivation issue. It's really a systems issue. And thank God it's not a motivations issue, because if you look at your membership and you want to have this thing for 5 years, you do not want to build a business that is completely designed on your motivation alone. So we need to actually get into the system. So let's kind of start veering the ship that way and talk about what that actually looks like. So here is what consistent membership sales actually require. First things first, this one is not going to surprise anyone, especially if you listened to last week's episode, is consistent visibility. You need to have people who see your sales process. If you don't have eyeballs, if you don't have an audience, it doesn't matter how great your membership is, it's not going to sell because you don't have the people to sell it to. So visibility, first and foremost, is huge. You know I say this all the time. Visibility is the oxygen to your membership. We cannot have one without the other. And also, if you have a small audience, that can work. And I say this all the time. I built my business to its first 6 figures with, I think, like under 1,000 followers. Now I can't remember if it was under 1,000 or under 2,000, but it was a small audience and it can work to an extent and also with a certain priced offer. But at the same time, if you're not working on growing your audience, that level of how much that's actually going to work for you is going to start diminishing. Because to sell to the same people over and over and over again, that's going to run out. The runway for that is going to come to an end at some point. So it's really important that you're focusing on massive visibility. Growing your audience should always be a focus point. And it shouldn't just be right before a launch. Yes, you should have like focused visibility months. And usually that's not going to be when you're actually in a sales period or actually in a launch season. But it's something that should be just an always happening thing in the background. It's always happening every day inside of your business. Creating content on Instagram, on TikTok, Substack is popping off right now, YouTube, podcasts. It doesn't have to be on like a specific platform, but as long as you are building an audience somewhere, that is key. We're going to be getting into more of what needs to happen with sales, but at the top of funnel, people need to be there. There needs to be an audience there. So that is number one. Is having consistent strategic sales events. Internally, inside of Million Dollar Memberships Club, I actually call these incubator events. And the reason for that is because you are taking your audience, right? From step number 1, growing visibility, growing an audience. You are taking that audience and you are now taking them off of whatever platform they are coming from. So let's just say you are really big on TikTok. You are taking them off of TikTok and you are bringing them into your world for a strategic sales event. And what ends up happening is when they come off that platform, come into your world, they're in your strategic sales event. It's like a little incubator. They are getting warmed up until they are a hot lead and they are going straight into your membership if it is the right fit for them. So this is not just random posts on TikTok or random stories on Instagram or random podcast episodes. This is something that you are repeating, whatever your cadence is. It's going to be different for everybody. Whatever your cadence is, it's something that you are repeating in a very structured, intentional way. This could be something like a masterclass or a free workshop or a free challenge or a live series event. This could even be a in-person event. I have someone, shout out Adrian, inside of Million Dollar Memberships Club, who's doing an incredible in-person event for her incubator event, which, by the way, if you're listening to this, I'm so excited to hear how that goes. It doesn't necessarily matter as much what your actual event is, as long as it relates and ties directly to your membership and it's something that makes sense to your people, to your ideal members, aka the people in your audience who would be a right fit for your membership. So number 2 is a consistent strategic sales event, something that is constantly being repeated, that makes sense for your offer, and that is moving your audience from cold to ready to join your membership in a short amount of time. Now, the third thing that really matters when it comes to being able to get members inside of your membership consistently is you need to not only have these strategic sales events, whatever those are going to be, but you need to have an urgency-backed strategy on top of that. If you don't have an urgency strategy on top of that, people are going to take as long as you give them. What is that principle again? Oh my gosh, I need to look it up right now. What is the principle that says people will take as long as you give them? Oh my gosh, it's driving me crazy. I need to know. Parkinson's law. Yes, okay. The principle that states work expands so as to fill the time available for its completion is known as Parkinson's law. Okay, perfect. So exactly that. That's what we're talking about right here. We are talking about Parkinson's law. And this is with anything, right? It's like you give yourself an hour to clean your house before you have to go somewhere, you're probably going to finish up right in that hour. Like, it's so unlikely that you are going to finish up half an hour before or whatever, or it's like a deadline, right? I am so bad with this. It might be the ADHD, but if I have a deadline for something, I'll give myself like a month notice and be like, okay, this is when this needs to get done. And then there's like Sunday night, the Monday before it's done, I'm like scrambling to get it in. You give yourself as much time as the container allowed, or however we just described that, Okay, so it's the exact same thing with your membership. If you have a membership and you are selling it and you're saying, okay, I just opened the doors to my membership, join now, but then you leave it at that and you don't have an actual urgency, like you got to join within this amount of time, or else A, doors close if you have an open and closed membership, or else B, bonuses drop off, course disappears, free this goes away, price goes back up, like whatever it is, whatever your bonus is. If you have an evergreen membership that you sell all the time, whatever it is, there needs to be some kind of urgency, because if you just say, doors are open, come join me now, there's always going to be a hesitation. I shouldn't say always, like 90% of the time, there's going to be a hesitation. You are going to have your all-stars. Of course, there's going to be like that 1% or whatever, 5% people who are like, okay, my math is so off on this, but you guys are following, I hope. You're going to have those like all-stars who are like, yeah, I'm joining anyway, because they're just like go-getters. Those are the best people, or like maybe just impulsive people, either or. But you also could have those people who this membership would change their absolute life. It's something that would be so good for them. They know it's something that would be so good for them, but they could just be the personality type or that type of person who's like, when life settles down, then I'll get to it. Or I just had a big car payment come out. Maybe I'll do it next week. And then we know what happens. That time never comes because there's always something that takes place in front of it. So it's kind of like this gentle nudge of like, hey, this is right for you. Obviously, we are only talking about the people that this is actually right for. We're not just trying to get everyone into this membership. But hey, we know this is right for you. We know this is exactly what's going to get you the result that you need, or we know this is going to be the community that you need to be a part of. Let's incentivize this. Come in right now, kind of thing. So it doesn't matter if you have an open and closed membership or if you haven't evergreen membership. You can apply urgency to either model. It really doesn't matter. As long as you have some kind of urgency, that is what matters. And again, just like step number 2 with these strategic sales events, this needs to be something that is always going to go hand in hand with that one. So again, it is repeatable. It's something that is always going to be coming up. You can look at your calendar for the year and look at, okay, this is when I'm doing this strategic sales event. Oh, and this is what the urgency is going to be for it. This is how long that urgency window is going to be. I can expect to have this many people inside of my membership or join my membership from this based on previous data. Now, when you take this system and you execute it, and then you execute it again and again and again, either live or automatically, that is when you are going to get consistent members inside of your membership. And here are some things to note too. Just because there's nuance to everything, this isn't going to be cookie cutter for everyone. So here are just some like permission slips or just things to know is that number 1, your second incubator event is probably going to outperform your first one. And then your third one is probably going to outperform your second one, right? As long as you have the visibility work happening in the background all the time, these kind of things tend to compound and build and build. And repetition is the strategy here. You do not have to make these different every single time. Like, yes, if you are, say, doing a masterclass every month, then it might be cool to switch it up, but you also don't have to. You can do the same one as long as you are getting new audience people coming to your page and you're not constantly just pitching the same thing to a stagnant audience, then you don't have to make this crazy. Like, it really doesn't have to be that much work. Obviously, to set it up, especially the first time, is going to take work. If you're inside $1 Million Memberships Club, you know that it takes work, but luckily for everyone inside of there, we have so much done for you. So we take a lot of that off your plate, but it takes a lot of time to get these things set up. But the key is to set it up the right way, plug it into your calendar and press repeat. repeat, repeat, and keep this going because this becomes your system. So some things to just kind of consider is, okay, if you're looking at this for your membership, what makes the most sense? Do you have an open and closed membership? If you do, how often do you open your doors? Are you still really growing and you open your doors more? Or are you in the expansion and scaling phase and you close your doors, and when you open them, you have a flood rush of people come in because they don't want to miss this opening? Do you have an evergreen membership where you're always open and you need to figure out a sales event that you can repeat more consistently, so it can't be something like a 10-day workshop where you have to put so much into it because you can't do that every single month? So first things first is you just have to figure out what makes sense for you, your membership, your lifestyle, how far you are in your membership, all of the things. If you are coming, and good news, if you are coming to my 3-day Fill Your Membership Challenge, which is happening on March 23rd, 24th, and 25th, if you are listening to this in real time, of course, which is March 2026, then this is exactly what our day 2 is all about. So day 1, we are really figuring out where your gaps are and what you need to personally focus on first to fill those gaps so we can start moving your membership forward, whether that's sales, whether that's visibility, whether that's retention, or a combination of all of them. But day 2 is really all on this. It's figuring out what is your personal membership growth button. What does that look like? What makes the most sense for you, and how often, how are we doing this for you? How often are you repeating this? What does that actually look like? We're mapping it out completely for you. So the great thing about this is I'm not just going on and saying, okay, everyone needs to do a challenge. Okay, everyone needs to do masterclasses and you need to do X, Y, and Z. We're actually looking at, hey, we know that we're all different. There's nuance to all of this. This is not a cookie cutter thing. And we are figuring out what makes the most sense for you. So on this challenge, you're really leaving with a personalized membership growth plan, not a cookie cutter one. And essentially, you're going to be leaving this challenge with a 30-day membership growth plan that you can actually repeat, something that you can plug into your business and hit repeat and do exactly what we said here today. If you are not registered for the challenge, again, we're starting on March 23rd and we have limited tickets available. So make sure after this episode, you go to the link in the show notes, you register, grab your ticket. If you cannot make the days live, we really encourage you to make the days live because live is awesome. You can ask questions on there. It's a vibe. But if you can't make it, if you have to work or if there's something else that you have to do that day, we also have replays for the days of the challenge. So you can catch those as well. Again, link is in the show notes for that. Hope to see you there. It is going to be such a vibe. And other than that, this is the end of the episode. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming back every week and listening. And I just appreciate you. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.